Hi, you're listening to Oh Crap with Jamie. This is a podcast for parents working hard to break the cycles while dropping the F-bomb a lot. I'm your host, Jamie Glowacki, and I am the author of Oh Crap Potty Training and Oh Crap I Have a Toddler. And I am so happy you're here. Hey guys, welcome. Hey, happy October. I am trying to figure out this. I'm not really sure if this is going to be a bite-sized nugget or full length. I'm going to go with it because I don't know how many cans of worms I want to open in one episode. So yeah. So we'll leave it to chance, but I've been overthinking this and trying to map it out. Sometimes when I do a podcast, I have to script it out because I don't want to miss anything or I have notes. And then other times I just wing it because I have a lot of thoughts. And sometimes I record it 17 times because I have to actually start talking it out. And then I'm like, oh no, that sucked. So it's not easy being in my head, you guys. So this one there's a couple of things going on all at once that are making my head explode. So number one, it's October. So we're going to start talking about freaking Halloween. Yay. If you do Halloween, I do want to talk about Halloween. I want to talk about candy. And that leads me to want to talk about picky eating because picky eating is ridiculous right now. Ridiculous. And I am so aware when we talk about picky eating, I'm so aware of neurodivergence, food sensitivities, texture, sensory stuff, ARFID. I'm aware of all of these things. But the amount of picky eating and the amount of picky eating that I've helped families with, let me know that we're talking about standard picky eating, okay? So I kind of want to talk about that in context to October and the candy. So around this time, I start getting really, 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 really irritated because this started, I want to say it started about 4 years ago. And it blew my mind. And it's only gotten worse. And this is the posts on social media. And if you're not on social media, God love you. I love you. And I know there's a large portion of my audience that is not on social media. So I give you high fives. And I apologize for, for how often I have to talk about social media, but it is literally wrecking our lives. It's wrecking our parenting. And so many parents are on social media and getting themselves all mucked up because of it. But right around October starts with the candy and the fact that candy should be served at every meal. And this is coming from registered dietitians. This is coming from picky eating specialists. And one of the things that I hear, I'm trying to be very level here and not have my head explode and get through my points. I'm really trying to restrain myself. One of the points here is making food neutral, making Halloween candy neutral. So you serve a fun size candy bar leading up to Halloween. So Halloween's not a big deal. Now, first and foremost, Halloween is a big freaking deal. Okay. It's a big deal. If you do it, you get free candy from just going around knocking on doors. That's a big deal. I'm all for it. I am in the camp of eat as much candy as you want the night of till you puke and then do what you will with the candy afterwards. Okay. I do not think we need to make candy neutral beforehand. I think that is ludicrous. Okay, to make candy neutral so it's not a big deal. It is a big deal. The reason we have huge events is the human body has always feasted and been in famine. We don't have famine anymore, thankfully, but the body is used to feasting and famine. We would not have food at the end of winter. We would feast at the harvest in summer, right? We would have Thanksgiving, we would have Christmas or whatever the December holiday is you celebrate. There's a ton of them, right? New Year, we celebrate these things. Spring, Easter, whatever you celebrate again in the spring holiday, there's always something. And these are the feasts. These are when we go crazy. These are a sort of binge because we wouldn't have had these things all year round. Now we do have these things all year round, okay? And so the idea that we have to make that neutral, when we say, I want food to be neutral, we have to, okay, can number 2 of worms. Here we go. This is why I haven't been able to keep this succinct. Food is not neutral, and not all things are food, okay? Like I say food substances, food in air quotes, because some of the stuff that you buy prepackaged on shelves, shelf stable, it barely qualifies as food. The food meaning nutrients. I don't care if it's natural or not natural. I hate this. Oh, everything's a chemical. Water's a chemical. Like, you know what I'm talking about when I say chemical filled food, or food like substances, right? Like we've gotten it so mixed up, and I see this all over the internet. And and the problem is, if you're Gen X or older millennial, you probably had a freaking eating disorder, right? We were sold nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. We were sold a bill of goods, low fat. We were sold diet culture up the wazoo. I get it. I get that most everybody has disordered eating, and or had it, if not a full-blown eating disorder, and we want our kids to have a good relationship with food, okay? But what I'm seeing is that once you allow these foods into your home, your child now knows they're an option. You are exhausted. You back yourself into a corner. Your child won't eat what you put in front of them. They cry for the thing that you tried to make neutral, whether it's fruit snacks or fruit bars from Whole Foods or cereal or Pop-Tarts or brownies. These are the things I see these kids get locked into with picky eating. I don't ever see a kid get locked into chicken and broccoli. Never. Okay. And so these foods are not neutral. They are engineered to be eaten in excess. Okay. And I figured this out when I was 17. I used to call it eat sugar, want sugar. Once it's on your palate, and I will say, I think some people are more prone to this than other people, okay? Gretchen Rubin is the one who studied this and came out with, there are moderators and abstainers, and some people should just abstain. Some people are moderators. They can have a little of something. Other people, once they have a little of something, they want a lot of something. And that can be anything. It could just be your brain chemistry. Nobody knows why. There's just some people are moderators and some people are abstainers. And you know this, okay? But if you open the door to having these food-like substances that are, I call them snacky snacks, pre-packaged, ultra-processed food, right? It's literally, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's these junky kind of things. And the biggest crime, I think, is like, oh my God, this is rabbit hole. This is can of worms number 3. Whole Foods. Let's talk about Whole Foods. Let's go on a tangent with Whole Foods. Like thinking that you bought something at Whole Foods and it's still prepackaged junk food. It's not nutrients. That's what I'm looking at. I don't care what is in it. Is it nourishing your body? Is it good for your body? If you ate what your child eats, would you feel good? Because what I've got a bunch of parents coming to me for behavioral stuff with their kids, and their kids are eating crap food all day long. And we cannot expect that a child who eats prepackaged snack food all day long is going to be nourished. If they're not nourished, they're going to have crappy behavior. This is all linked. And no, it's not just like sugar makes a kid hyperactive. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about actually nourishing. Okay. So one of the things that I see in especially the last couple of years with the families I'm working with is this idea that I buy them the organic. I buy them the organic fruit bars. I buy them the organic cheese puffs at Whole Foods. Whole Foods used to be a health store when it first started. It is not anymore. And I would venture to say they've gone downhill since Amazon acquired them. But because something is organic and in a recycled package, that's greenwashing, guys. Organic is a farming practice. So yes, is organic good? Yes, they don't use pesticides. Awesome. But organic cheese puffs are still freaking cheese puffs, okay? So don't be fooled by these labels, because that's all my clients. All of them, their kids, like literally the last 2 years, every single person I work with, their kids are eating like crap. And they're not, the parents are being disingenuous with themselves. Oh, I get it at Whole Foods. It's organic. No, it's still prepackaged food. It's still candy. Fruit snacks are still sugar bombs. They're all sugar and they get stuck in your teeth. My dentist even said, like, use always go for chocolate, go for M&Ms over anything gummy. So keep that in mind for Halloween. So now we go back to this idea that goes up my ass so bad, this Halloween thing that we should serve candy with every meal so it's not a big deal. The problem is, and I have never quite been able to wrap my head around this, is when I help parents with picky eating, what I'm always shocked at, like, how did you get here? I worked once with a family, the little girl will only eat one brand of whipped cream out of a can. That was all she was eating. And I was like, but how did you get here? How did you know that that's the only thing she would eat? So you see, to me, the big thing here is don't have it in your house. The minute you have it in your house and it is being served with consistency, the chances that then your child knows it's an option, they're going to want that option. And I will say this till the day I die, you are never going to win a power struggle with a toddler. So let's play this out, okay? Let's just play out the October thing. Let's play out, okay, yes, this sounds good. I want my child to have a good relationship with food. I'm not assigning a moral value to food. Guys, I'm giving that the hardest eye roll can of worms, number 4 or 5. I don't assign a moral value to something that's inanimate, okay? I do not assign food as good or bad in a morality. It is good or bad in my body. It makes me feel good or bad. Okay. So this whole argument about not giving food a moral standing, I just think is such a cop-out. Okay, I get it. I get you want your child to have a healthy relationship with food. You know what's a healthy relationship with food? Discussing what's in things, how your body feels. What is your energy? What does your tongue say? Does your tongue want more? How does your brain feel? Does your brain scream for more? And kids can articulate this. Kids can say, I just want all the cookies now. Not just one cookie, I want all the cookies. That's teaching kids about food. When I talk to adults who have eating disorders, or I talk to even neurodivergent adults, they always say, I wish I'd been taught more about food and how it affects my body and how it affects my brain. Because if you are leaning on the fact that your child is neurodivergent and that's why they can only have X, Y, or Z, I have talked to a lot of neurodivergent adults who wish they knew how food that their parents taught them, how food was in them, in their bodies, and how it made them feel, and more dissected, like the fact that their brains kind of lit on fire with certain foods. This happens, okay? And so I think that's just really, really, really an interesting thing, because so many people claim neurodivergences. That's why my kid's picky. Yes, I understand there can be texture issues, and it's your job to actually expand the palate as much as you can within those parameters and give many, many, many choices. I know this. I have a friend who her daughter has a lot of diagnoses, and this mom, she she jokingly says she's an alphabet soup. She's got all the alphabet after her, for her diagnoses. But this kid sleeps 12 hours a night because the mom worked really hard. Well, I should say the mom and dad. I'm not just saying the mom, the parents worked really, really hard at creating the structure so this kid would sleep, even though by all her alphabets, she, sleep could be a challenge. These parents work really hard at, within her ARFID, she has nutritious food, that she does get nourishment. And so they don't, it's tricky right now because so many people are like, oh, my kid's neurodivergent. I do posts on Instagram and literally people are like, oh, this is all kids. I thought it was the neurodivergence. We have taken everyday regular kid behavior and people are pathologizing it. And this goes for your standard picky eating. But let's circle back to how this plays out. So you want your kid to have a good relationship with food. So you start putting a little fun-sized candy bar with every meal so that they're acclimated. They're not going to freak out and like want to eat candy on Halloween till they puke. Okay, now your kid knows that's being offered. Okay, so once they taste that, you run the risk of them only wanting that. Okay, so then the next night they eat just the candy and they don't eat anything on their plate. And you're like, okay, cool. Because this picky eating specialist or this registered dietitian said, that's okay. That's okay for them, right? Because we're taking away the power. If that's what they want to eat, that's fine. They don't have to eat the other stuff. I'm not making them eat the other stuff. Okay, good. The next night, they still only eat the candy. Now you're getting a little stressed out because you're like, well, wait a minute. This was supposed to be like, that they eat everything on their plate, including the candy, and that it's not like this big thing. And I will tell you guys, yes, for some kids, that is the thing, that they can do that. They can have a piece of candy on their dinner plate with all the other food, and they eat everything, and they're not stressed, and they're not, they eat everything. That's great. For a large amount of kids, that doesn't happen. And why would you run the risk? I would not run the risk, because now there's going to come a point where you are too tired to even offer the food. You are too tired to have the showdown of like, no candy tonight. I'm sorry, we're not having candy with dinner tonight, because that's how it will have to play out. And now a year goes by and your kid will only eat certain things, and it's always candy, it's always snack bars, it's always prepackaged food. So I think what's astounding me is I think maybe this is a generational thing. We never had prepackaged snacks as a kid. I just didn't. They were around, but they were expensive. And my mom just knew. She was like, no, we don't eat that. That's not food. It's expensive junk. And so when I had Pascal, I never restricted him. I didn't restrict him on holidays. I didn't restrict him on birthdays. Like I always say the story, he'd go to birthdays, still does. He wants the corner piece of the cake with the big goopy frosting or balloon on it or something like that. And he takes 2 bites and he walks away. He's very moderate with food. Anytime we were at a special event, it wasn't a big deal. He could have what he wanted. But we always ate a nutritious meal before going. Halloween, I always did a big roast on the stove with mashed potatoes. The kids all came over to my house. We'd eat that and then go trick-or-treating. They went on on a very full stomach with a lot of fat, a lot of protein. They were satiated. So they didn't like eat a shit ton of candy, right? So and even if they did, I wouldn't have cared. It's a special event. That's why we have special events. The biggest problem now is if you have it in your house, your child knows it's an option, and that's where you get cornered. That's how it happens that I get kids who will only eat one brand of whipped cream. Okay. Because somehow the parents got backed into a corner of like, okay, try this. Oh, you'll eat that. Okay. It's something. No, whipped cream is nothing. Like it's what did they call it? Like a whipped dairy product. It's not even real whipped cream, right? If it were real whipped cream, I'd be like, okay, well, at least they're getting good fat. So anyway, I know this is a hot topic for a lot of people, but to me, it's so plain. It's so obvious that if you just don't have it in your house, these things are called treats, right? We don't have a treat every day. That's the whole meaning of a treat, right? So to me, I feel like, why are we doing this? Why are we giving kids treats every day and expecting a small child to moderate? And again, yes, I've seen it. Some kids can do that. Now, I also think that you don't hold dessert over a kid's head. So I think when candy and treats get loaded is when you say like, okay, if you eat your string beans, you can have this. Well, now you've set up a bribe, a reward system. That's when things get like heavy and loaded. That's when you're like, you're not listening to your child's cues. You're not, you're trying to make them eat something that they may not have the taste or texture for, and you're holding something over your head. I don't agree with that either. I just don't think that we should be having dessert, treats, all these things every day. I just don't see how that's where I think it all went sideways. That's where I think all the trouble started, is the idea that everything's a treat. We also have like, crazy amount of parties and events, and we have parents that are exhausted. I get that. And I really do understand that. But I am going to say this. I'm probably going to start saying this every podcast to get the message through. I cannot fix your life. If you are exhausted, you have to look at your own life and be not exhausted. And yes, I get like in the early years, of course, you're going to be exhausted, right? But what I mean is if you guys, I'm hearing from so many people, two parents work outside the home, they're exhausted, then you can't do anything else but be with your kids in the early years. Okay. I don't understand how food has become this back burner thing. Like it's become the last thing on our list. This is literally the building blocks for growth, for our well-being, for our bodies, for how we function, how we feel. Everybody talks about how great I look. I'm 57 this year and I do all kinds of activities and, oh, you're so lucky. No, I'm not lucky. I fucking feed myself really well. And so the idea that like, everything else takes precedence. Everything else, like, oh, I want my activities. I want, we do this. It's sports. It's this, it's this, it's this. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time for meals. Like, dude, I can't help you. Like, I can't help you if you don't make the time. I can't help you if you're exhausted by your own life that you can't nourish your children. I think that's really sad. I do. And I understand like how tired we all can be in those early years. So yes, I'm trying to give tips on Instagram. I'm trying to let you guys like how to not overthink food. And I am going to do the next podcast I do is going to be about meal ideas, for busy parents. But if you're so exhausted that all you can feed yourself, you don't have it in you to have boundaries around food and meal times, and all you can feed your child is prepackaged foods, they're going to suffer. Their health is going to suffer, but their behavior too. Okay. And I always say, like, if you're in doubt, oh my goodness, just think of how you would feel if all you consumed was what your child consumes. Obviously, bigger portions, but like, how would that make you feel? So anyway, that's my October warning. And again, it was spurred by the last, I'd say the last like 20 clients I've had have all been dealing with this. And I know because we fixed the picky eating. So I know it's not, it was a rut that the family got stuck in. Okay. It wasn't like I don't know, a special circumstance picky eating. I don't know what to call it. Like, I think there's standard picky eating and then there's like extreme, maybe that's how we differentiate. All kids get selective. And I just wouldn't buy into it at that age. You just keep offering food. And don't bring it into your home. Okay. A couple more things about Halloween. If I want to put this out there, I want to give you guys a soft permission. Halloween is the most fun for the 6 to 12, that those garden years. I think 4, 5, maybe. If your child's under 3 and under, or even 4 and under, I just want to remind you, you don't have to partake. And you can do a small party if you want, or you can do a scavenger hunt. I know a lot of people do trunk or treat, but if your child is under 3, they're not missing anything. Okay. So if you want to bow out, it's okay. Like, I think what happens is this is where we get so much FOMO, and like, our kids have to do, we want our kids to do X, Y, and Z, or, we can't wait to put them in a Halloween costume, but it's a big pain in the butt, honestly. And so if you want to opt out, I'm giving you a soft permission. You can stay home. You don't have to do any of the events that are happening. Okay. And if you want to, and it brings you joy, that's great. But I really, really, really want you guys to lock into like, let's Marie Kondo our whole lives, right? Like, does it spark joy? Does it bring you joy? Everybody has their own joy. Like, some people love the birthday parties and the Pinterest and the events and things like that, and other people don't. And so you don't have to be anything you're not in parenting. Okay. So if it doesn't bring you joy, don't do it. And I mean, of course we have to do some hard things, right? But things like the month of October, where it's like rush out and get all the fall things done, I don't think we have to do that. I always tell this story too. Like, so I live in New England. Apple picking, like getting an apple picking picture is pretty much standard. Like, it's like you have to do it, right? And so Pascal was allergic to apples. Well, he still is. Was. Just in case you didn't know, you can be allergic to like every combination of of apples. So you can be allergic to apples, period. You can be allergic to just cooked apples. You can be allergic to just the skins. You can be allergic to just the inside. You can be allergic to, um, uh, it's wild. And I wouldn't have thought apples at all were an allergy food. But anyway, Pascal is allergic to apples. And so, but we'd go to the apple orchard and get the picture. And it was always so like, I hated it. I just hated it every year because like we'd pick a couple of apples, but we couldn't have a whole bunch of apples because he was allergic. And then I was like, oh my God, stop doing it, Jamie. It was one of those things that I thought like you had to do. And I think that's probably when I started to question all these things that like we have to do. We have to get that photo op. We have to do this. We have to do that. And so apple picking is not our thing. It's just not our thing. And so it's like sacrilege in New England to not get the apple orchard picture, but we don't have it. We don't get that. So anyway, I just wanted to like point that out that you don't have to do the things, especially as we're ramping into the holiday season. I feel like after Halloween, it's like game on, right? And so, yes, we may have to do holidays with family. We may have to do some things that we don't love, but also it's okay to like figure out who you are as a parent and a person and be like, okay, I don't actually enjoy Halloween. The kids don't enjoy Halloween at under 3. Yeah. So anyway, I just see a lot of people suffering with Halloween in particular. And I'm like, just don't do it. You don't have to, there are plenty of people who don't. All right, guys. Hopefully, I did open quite a few cans of worms. If you guys are interested, I have a lot of new followers. I also go down a lot of these food rabbit holes in episode 94. That is how I eat and train. I should probably do another episode and update you guys. Nothing's really changed, but it's an old episode. I have been obsessed with nutrition since I was young, and I think it is so important. And I don't think we need registered dietitians as much as people think we need them. I think we need some common sense. I think we all need to learn how to cook a little bit more. And I think we have to slow down our lives to include things like nourishing our bodies. And so that is my October warning. All right. As always, guys, thank you for listening. Subscribe. Hit the subscribe button wherever. If you're just listening, if you're watching on YouTube, it really helps me get seen by more people and all that. You know the drill. All right, guys, rock on. Oh, you know what? I just did a newsletter, and I always sign off with rock on, right? Like that's kind of my thing. And I think I'm going to change my sign off to put down your phone. Put down your phone. Seriously. I think that's the biggest problem right now today. So, all right, guys, as always, rock on and put down your phone. Bye.